What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Salud Cabrones podcast. I am Danny Villegas.
And I am Javier Ledesma.
And before we get started, we ask that you like, comment, subscribe, and share the Salud Cabrones podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And follow us on all social media platforms at Salud Cabrones Podcast. And we want to give a special thanks to our sponsors, the Law Office of Christopher Hoff, Taco Villa. Big shout out to Fab 45 The Hits, and also Wrestling Tees, our t-shirt brothers over in Canada. And speaking of t-shirts, if you want to purchase a Salud Cabrones t-shirt, hit up Pro Wrestling Tees, ProWrestlingTees.com. Just type up Salud Cabrones podcast in the search engine. Rock with us, man. Javier,
What's up?
we got an old school brother with us in the house today.
This is definitely an episode I've been looking forward to for a while.
Yeah,
we
me
talked
too.
about having this man on the show for a while, and I'm glad it's finally happening. It's definitely a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Seeing him walk into the studio today definitely put a smile on my face. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, man. I mean, we knew him back in the wrestling days, man. We knew him as Skitz M. Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But, ladies and gentlemen, the musician, the man, the myth, the legend. Give it up for Mr. Riki Adams with us today.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Good to see y'all.
Sitting ovation.
It truly has been a hot minute. I haven't seen either of you, Danny, since like before the pandemic, and then and then Javier. Whenever we were both last in POW at the same time.
So it's been a while.
A hot minute.
How long ago was that actually? The last time you were there?
In POW?
Yeah.
Man, it was a while.
It's been a long time, bro.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, because I think I was around for the first Wrestle Rage at the Odeum.
Okay.
And then I was out doing probably military shit for the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I had just come back into town because I got to see that one because that was DX versus
the Raw Bones,
and all that. And then, man, I think the last one I was at was a big 4-team schmaz for the tag belts.
Okay.
Or some such nonsense.
So it's probably about a good maybe 10 years, you thinking?
Oh, at least. Yeah. Because, I mean, I haven't been involved in wrestling at all since I think I got out in 2019. Mm-hmm. And I had maybe a couple year run that was with Kaiju Attack Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. You did a lot of stuff for them, right?
Yeah.
Kaiju.
I was their MC / live host commentator. Mm-hmm. It was a company that was trying to do something like Hood Slam out in Oakland and wasn't quite getting there. Mm-hmm. But that was that was kind of the vibe they were going for. Let's see. So before Kaiju, I would have been with Underground. Mm-hmm. Before that, folded into Freelance Underground. Yeah. And I was with I was with Underground for a few year stretch. Mm-hmm. And then POW would have been kind of on the start of the Underground Gali. And I was working those two, Kaiju, SWE, up north.
Oh yeah,
for Sexy KC.
Yeah. How did you get into it by chance?
Into wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh man,
because you came in as like you said, MC commentator.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, so the way I came into POW in wrestling is I knew this kid named Billy who wrestled as Billy DeBose, Billy the Rockstar, Herbert Zachary Devonshire, the rich kid.
Yeah.
So I knew him from high school, and we had lived together at times, like out of high school, and so he was an old friend, and he got into wrestling. So I went to a show at the Elmhurst Knights of Columbus. I think it might have been one of the only times POW ever ran there.
Yeah, they ran like once or twice, I think. Yeah.
Terrible locker room, no space, nothing like that. And so I went to go see him do his thing. Excuse me. Carbonation from the seltzer. That's tasty, though, by the way. That is a tasty beverage. But yeah, so I went to go see him do his thing, and before I even got in the show, my first introduction to POW sitting in the crowd before the show starts, Jamie Dundee walks by and just starts chatting to me. And then on the way after the show, you know, I watched the show, great show. It's setting up, I think Wrestle Rage was around the corner. And I go to the after show to go hang out, and I meet D-Ho, and we hit it off because Billy was hanging out with him at the time. And walking into T-Woods, once again, just in the parking lot. Hey, you want to smoke with Jamie Dundee? Why, yes, I do.
As a matter of fact, I do. Thank you.
That was actually a pretty good Jamie Dundee bit.
That was.
And that was kind of from that moment, I was like, oh man, I think I'm just going to wind up hanging around here when I'm in town, you know. And I had come back off a deployment to Iraq, my first one, and I was stationed in Wisconsin, staying on to train people who were going over to deploy. And when I had weekends free, I'd bounce back down, check out a show, and I started writing reviews on the POW message boards back when those were a thing.
I remember that, yeah.
And I reviewed every show, and then it was, hey, Skitz, do you want to relaunch the magazine? And it was like, okay, sure. Me and Camastro.
Oh, yeah. Anthony, right?
Yeah. He would do a lot of the photos, and then I would, you know, do all the writing and the interviews and do all that, and started putting that together. And then from doing the magazine, it was, hey, do you want to run the cameras? Do you want to do commentary? And what actually got me in the ring, and this is something that a trait that I carried over into a future military reporting window of time, is I thought, what a fun gimmick to write about the training school. Go experience it and then write about it. And, you know, probably end up in pain in the progress, because that's fun for, you know, articles. People love that. And I did the training school, and I was like, oh man, I think I might actually be able to do this somewhat. Like, I knew, you know, I already came in with injuries from the military, and, you know, no shortage of shit wrong with me, and, you know, older than some of the cats who joined back when it was CCW. You know, so my aspirations were, you know, comedy wrestler.
Yeah.
That was kind of always my niche. I was like, I'm an entertainer who can bump. I'm not, you know, I'm not a chain guy like Spade. I'm not a champ level like, you know, Crossing or Kanoa or, you know, yourself. Like I was a match 2 guy. That was my spot.
I love being
match two.
I actually prefer to be match 1.
Like, I'm pre-show kind of guy.
I love to be match 1.
Oh, I mean, well, I love to match 2, especially when, you know, flash forward to me and D-Ho, Brian Fellows at the time, the Chosen One Day Hawk back in the day. The man of a million gimmicks.
Yeah.
Back when we were a tag team, Glitter Bomb at Underground, we really found the thing, and it was like match 2 guaranteed. Match 1, you want to start hot, but sometimes something happens.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, we know exactly what we do. We know what we do. We bring the kids up. We throw confetti. You know, we do fun ha-ha spots. Yeah. So guaranteed, the match won't be 5 stars. It doesn't need to be. That's not who we are.
Right.
We will make sure that the crowd is ready for the rest of the show if match 1 didn't hit.
Yeah.
And that's a responsibility, but that's also like, man, you get done with that, and then you get to change back into your clothes, and you're comfortable by the time it's intermission and you're hitting the merch table.
Which is why I love to be match 1 or 2. For that reason.
It's the spot. It's the spot. I main evented, I think, 1 show ever. And it was like, I don't need to do that again. That was unnecessary.
It was midnight. It's like, fuck.
There's times where I get to a show and Javier be like, oh, we're match 6. Like, fuck. Damn it! Can we ask Jimmy to switch it to like match 1 or 2 even? Like shit.
There is something to be said about that, and I'm not a fan of being later in the show because I hate the anticipation. Not so much of like, oh, there's a responsibility of this, of making sure that the match is great, or none of that. I hate the anticipation. Like if I'm in my gear, I need to be out into the ring like relatively soon after that.
Oh, sitting ready is the worst.
Yes,
because once you're in the mode, you're thinking, you're on, you're ready, and then. Okay, I guess we're hanging out over in the corner and watching Hot Rod again.
Oh, bro, ask him. There's times where like we'll be like match 5 and like match 3 just started. Hey, bro, match 3's on, right? We're on like in 2 matches. You want to get ready? Like, oh fuck, I guess. So there I am, fucking getting ready because same thing. Like I don't want to be sitting in my gear the whole time.
Yeah.
So then, because there's nothing better than taking off that gear and putting on your street clothes back on. You're just like,
be done with
man.
it. One of the best feelings in the world is lacing up a pair of boots.
Yeah.
The best feeling in the world is taking them off.
No, yeah, because like you said, you had some, the glitter bomb with you and D-Ho.
Yeah.
Like you were very entertaining.
That's what it's. So I've been in performance spaces since I was in kindergarten. My parents put me in choirs, and I never stopped. Mm-hmm. I was always either in vocal competitions, or I was doing speech competitions, or I was in theater, and then I was in bands getting out of high school.
It's that magical fucking voice you got, bro.
It carries a long
sexy
way.
In a way, bro.
Oh,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
There are people listening to this episode right now that just lowered down the lights in the room. They're like, damn, this episode is fucking sexy.
You're fucking sitting on a speaker right now, bro.
If you think this is good, put any of my music on Spotify, crank the bass, sit on it, whatever you got to do.
Doing that shit when I get home, bro. What song do you recommend?
Really, just because I want the streams. Anyone, none of them.
No, but
I get 3 cents a listen. You know what I mean?
Hey, but didn't you almost fucking? Didn't Powell almost lose the VFW and Fox League because you?
No. Let me correct.
I heard about it like this.
I need to correct the story on this one.
I want to know the story.
So Pow didn't almost lose the VFW in Fox Lake. They did lose
or the American Legion.
The American Legion in Antioch.
And
that was because of me.
Okay, what happened again?
So. And I can't even take full credit for this idea. This was a Finley house show idea.
A Finley house show.
That I think might have actually, in retrospect, gotten Finley in trouble. But I was like, well, we're the Indies. What could happen? Jimmy was trying to get his big heel team over his heels. And they were pretty much every face of the company. Mm-hmm. So it's you have to make them hated. Well, how do you make them hated?
Is this that when he had Cairo, Kanoa, and all those
so,
guys?
The elite players.
Yeah. Yes, I remember that.
Yep. And the way I pitched getting them heat was, hey, how about you interrupt the anthem? And they did. And the American Legion Hall was not happy about it. And, by the end of the show, they had gotten their comeuppance. The insurgent, which was a weird character to try and make a babyface, given just all of what the character portrayal was. Mm-hmm. It was a weird, he was named the insurgent during the height of, the war on terror and everything.
Who was it?
It was Jason at the time.
That's right. That's right. A mask gimmick, right? That's
yes,
right.
Yeah,
That's
the masked army fatigues.
Yes. Okay.
And they were trying to turn him baby, and so the comeuppance was later in the show. He was going to beat them up and play the anthem and make it okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Legion Hall was like, "You just don't do that to the anthem," and I'm like, "Man, there's worse that I've considered doing as so." That lost us the venue. Mm-hmm. I tried to talk to them. I was like, hey, I'm a veteran. I get it. This was the story. This was the idea. We want them to hate these people, and this is a way of trying to do it. And we weren't trying to be disrespectful because the good guys were going to win in the end, and blah, 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 blah. And they weren't having it, and I was fine with it because I I hated driving to Antioch.
He's not going to drive here anymore.
And honestly, we didn't draw all that great out there. We were diluting the Fox Lake pool. Mm-hmm. You know, it was why have this venue we've got a venue that pops. Why are you trying to, you know, but
I'm shocked that word didn't get out to other VFWs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
that could have happened easily.
It could have. It could have been a whole thing. But so talking about before I settled into being a comedy wrestler and trying to figure out what my role in POW was going to be, there was already a veteran in the company, Brandon Bishop. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The man was built like a superhero.
Yeah.
He had the body. He had the look. He was already a champion level guy. And so I was like, all right, well, we've already run the hero veteran. And I told Jimmy, I was like, when I left for Iraq the second time, you were a heel and I was a baby. And you told me, I hope you die over there. So when I come back and you're a baby now, how about I be the heel that lost my mind over there? Mm-hmm. And I bring it here and we have that character. Because, well, and honestly, it wasn't untrue. Mm-hmm. I did come back a little less stable than I had left. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so I was just pitching ideas and trying to come up with stuff. And I was like, yeah, we'll have me be a crazy veteran who's mad that you said, I hope you die, and now the fans love you, and blah, blah, blah. That's a compelling story that has layers, that has history. We can build on that. And it, you know, didn't wind up coming to pass because some of the stuff I pitched as, you know, how do I do a crazy veteran? I was like, well, I could light a flag on fire. Mm-hmm. It was like, we're not going to do that. And I was like, okay, that's fair. That's fair. It would be one that needs to be disposed of anyway. That's how you're supposed to do it. You know, we do it.
I like your ideas. You just need to be reeled back a little bit and make it, you know, make sense.
And he, you know, he was pitching at the time, we want to be the next ECW and all of that. And it was like, well, if you want people to hear about one of the many indie companies in the area and you want to get people talking and you want to get attention, you got to do stuff, you know.
I like that aspect of I wanted to be the next ECW, things like that. It
was never going to happen.
I think every company wants to reach that level.
Sure, but none of them make the moves.
I don't think anyone ever says, I want to be just like the WWE. I don't want to be just like, you know, WCW or anything like that. The attainable goal is always ECW because they saw it as a glorified indie that got really freaking big.
Yeah.
And that's what all these like indie companies kind of look at that and like, if I can just find that edgy content that's going to get me noticed.
Well, and it's not just the edge. You know, that was the part that I was always very clear about. It's not just edgy for edgy's sake. Mm-hmm. This is a story. This is in service of a story. You told me to go die in Iraq. That's a story. We can build on that.
Yeah.
You know, like, why would you not try and capitalize on something like that? Why would you not? The whole story of the Elite Players was originally supposed to be an invasion angle because he had booked a bunch of names and the names didn't put anybody over because they collectivized as names and decided that they didn't want to put over the OG guys. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, Jimmy, how about you make that a story? How about you have all of your guys, baby and heel, turn on you, and it's the company versus you, and you're bringing in your loyal people from other companies and from here and there, and you know, we haven't involved BCW and we haven't involved SWE and we haven't involved Gary Pro because they're all tied anyway. Why don't we make this a thing? And it turned into the Elite Players, and that was kind of the end of it. And you know, there was a stretch of time where we were pitching lots of ideas, and eventually it came to a point where it was like, I'm just not going to pitch ideas anymore, you know, because it didn't wind up working out. And
now, was that your reasoning for going to these other companies that you went to?
No, that was, a lot of it was just opportunities were arising. And for a time, I was working all of them. And I even left the door open to keep working for POW, honestly. A few of the things that were issues were I didn't necessarily know that the culture was going to vibe with where I was going as a person at the time. I've heard many good things about how POW is with regards to queer folk these days. You know, but at the time I was, especially as I got into the glitter bomb gimmick, starting to explore a lot of my gender presentation and a lot of my behavior and a lot of how I carry myself in the world, and using the platform of wrestling as a means of exploring self. And you know, I was feuding with people who maybe didn't quite get it at the time and would use some slurs in promos that were, you know, we'd have to talk about later and be like, if you're supposed to be a baby, don't say these words because you might have members of the audience. You know, you don't know. And so some of it was that. Some of it was the sheer wear and tear of like making that Fox Lake trip all the time. It was getting rough when I was living where Villa Park was a 15-minute drive away. You know, so it was like, well, if I work Villa Park for this company, that covers a lot of my weekends. And so it's like, you know, I left the door open because part of my ending story was putting over my POW tag partner at the time, Donnie Dynamite, and being like, he's, you know, he's still the guy, make sure you still cheer and make sure you still whatever. And I was like, if you want me to put him over in some way on the way out, you want us to have a feud, you want us to do a program, you want us to do anything, you want to bring me back to tag with him at some, just maybe Elk Grove is as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to Fox Lake anymore. It's just too much. And I think as I started getting booked more at some of at you know, Underground and some of that, and I think Jimmy took me stepping away from POW as me stepping away from wrestling, and that wasn't the case. And then there were also conflicts of people in people's ears telling them that I said things I never said, and
isn't that how it works? It's always people like, you know.
It's always how it works. It's always how it works. But I'm essentially blackballed from POW as far as I know. There's been a number of memorial shows and shit.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
My understanding is there was a podcast that me, Don, and Diho did as the stable Glitter Bomb, because the trio also continued to work together. You know, at Underground for a while, and you know, so we did a podcast, and without ever having heard it, because we purposefully went out of our way. We were like, we are not speaking bad on anyone. We're not going to do it. That's not what we're going to do, because that's not, you know, what we're about. Someone told someone who told Jimmy or something that we, you know, up and down badmouth the company, this, that, and the other. And that was enough where I have become persona non grata as far as I have been informed. I've not been informed to the contrary, but like, there was no invites to the Brado shows.
But you said you guys did it in character, right? Like you guys were just.
The podcast?
Yeah.
No. We just did it as the three of us, but we were out of character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were just.
This is the first I ever hear of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's been one of those things where suddenly I just wasn't.
I would imagine that if there was some truth to that, it was probably at the time, because I think now there's so much time that has passed.
Oh, I'm sure bygones would be bygones in a lot of ways.
Your name hasn't brought up in forever, so I can't imagine there's anyone there that still has any ill will.
I wouldn't imagine too many people would, but also it was such a thing that I was like, well, I see no reason to seek this out and try it, because it was like, man,
because then at the end of the day, you have to drive to, you know, Fox Lake, you don't do that.
And couldn't even take me at my word that I, like, didn't even listen to the podcast to find out for themselves. You know, like that was...
Yeah.
And it only extended. It wasn't Diho and Dom. They were both still welcome.
Yeah.
Just for some reason, someone said Skitz said XYZ.
See, like I wonder if that's even like if that's true, because I've never heard anything about it. You know, or maybe there's some kind of miscommunication or something. I don't know. But if there is truth to that, then a conversation should have been had.
Yeah, and
meaning like, oh hey, what can you clarify this? I heard this. But,
yeah,
you know.
And it just wound up being because I was out with Diho and Katie and some other people, and all of a sudden text messages start blowing up. What the fuck? What did you? And it was just a whole thing. And from that point forth, it was like, you know, it's not even. worth it. And I was doing other things, and while I was at Underground, that was hitting. Plus, I was starting to do stand-up comedy, so I was dialing back the wrestling. And then the band was starting to hit, so I was dialing back wrestling. And then it's like, well, I don't have time to do all of it all the time.
Yeah.
And so it just wound up being one of those things that stopped being important to me to chase. And then I kind of got burned on the way out of Underground. They had me and D-Ho were tag champs. We dropped the belts. D-Ho retired. He got to have a retirement match. We were trying to figure out where my spot was. Decided, all right, well, MC. Okay, fine. I'm a good talker. I can MC your show. Well, then they scrapped the MC altogether and said, you're going to run our Twitter. And I said, you're not booking me to run your Twitter. And that was the end of my time at Underground. That was when they were getting into Joe's in Rosemont.
Okay.
We ran like 2 shows there.
Yeah.
And then, that wound up going the way it went and getting folded into freelance. And coming out of Underground, someone else who had felt a bit burned by Underground at the time was DDS, Vance, who ran Kaiju.
Yeah.
And he started up Kaiju. And he was like, I saw you MC the thing. What do you think about MC/live commentary? I was like, great, sure, I could do that. As long as you pay me to be there, I can be there.
Right, yeah.
It was supposed to be a big party. It was at a bar. It was 21 over. We had live music. My band played. So, my band would play, and then I'd come off stage right into kicking off the show, and so that was a fun time, but then stopped getting paid. The venues started changing. And the vibes there got bad. And there were some shows that were booked and then canceled.
A lot of that, from what I remember, is they lost their main sponsor, which was the brewery, Two Brothers.
I don't know what happened with Two Brothers. Because they booked brewery shows, but then they booked family-friendly brewery shows when the whole brand of the company had been 21 over party show. So the whole vibe of the show had to change, and I don't know what lost them Two Brothers. What lost them me was booking a show in the Bay Area and then all of the details changing, and then, hey, you're responsible for your own flight, while already owing me a show's pay. And I was like, you know what? I've got too many other things going on that are either I'm responsible for or they are responsible in how they behave.
Yeah.
And I can't be toying around on the indies for, a fart and a promise.
You're right. No, exactly.
And I was already well past my expiration date as a wrestler anyway. I got to dabble, and it was something I never should have gotten to do in the first place. And I got to do it. And not many people get to do that. I performed in front of, I hundreds of people at a time. I got to, do commentary in front of thousands. I got to do cool stuff.
You fulfilled what you wanted in wrestling.
I mean, I also, when I was in the Army, in my second tour, I was a broadcast journalist, we'll say. Propaganda artist, unfortunately, is more accurate to the term. But I was traveling around the country of Iraq, me and a video camera, putting together stories and filming shit and this, that, and the other. And I got to do backstage interviewing for WWE's Tribute for the Troops.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got to interview everybody. I interviewed John Cena. I interviewed The Miz. I interviewed Mark Henry. I interviewed Vince himself.
That's awesome, man.
One of the things where I'm like, oh man, what would have changed is when I got off of that tour, I had Kevin Dunn's business card because he knew I was in video production. Maybe I should have made that call when I got out of the military. Maybe my life would have turned out in a whole different kind of way. But also, would I have been happy on that grind holding a camera?
Yeah.
Right. Because that's probably where I would have ended up, flipping switches or holding a camera. And that's not a disrespect to anyone who does those jobs, because that's video production on the production side is insane. And especially for a live program, that is a level of hustle and work where I was like, I don't I don't know that I want that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So getting into the military, we'll touch on that right now if you're okay with that. You got into the military at how old were you?
So I joined the military late. I was old for joining the military. I was 21.
Okay.
So I was one of the only people in my training class who could drink, you know, shit like that. They called me old man.
Yeah.
You know, because they were all 17, 18.
Yeah. And you were Army, correct?
I was Army. My first tour was as a medic, and I did one tour in Iraq as a medic, and then I did my second tour, like I said, as a broadcaster. Because on my first tour as a medic, I had made friends with one of the radio operators, and he changed jobs, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to go to Afghanistan as a medic, or do you want to go to Iraq as a broadcaster and get a promotion?" And I was like, well, I think if I have to go somewhere, I'll go where I've already been, so at least I'm vaguely familiar, and I get to be a sergeant.
Yeah.
That's nice. So I did that, and I was second NCO of the broadcast side of a public affairs unit.
Yeah.
And
because you said you went in 21, right? So you got everyone else come in straight out of high school, 17, 18 years old.
Yep. What
was it by the time you hit 21? You're like, you know what? I think I want to join the military.
Oh, well, stupidity on one hand. So I was engaged to an Australian. And we had met online. She came over here. We were staying together. We hit it off. We were like, hey, I think we might try and make this work. And I was living a killer 21-year-old bachelor life. Like, I had a flop pad with some buddies. We got drunk on the weekends. I had a day job that paid my bills. Like, I was doing all right, but I wasn't doing import from Australia. Flights to see her family. You know, plus you got to go through all the immigration stuff. I was like, Uncle Sam might be helpful. Because, you know, my actual relatives don't have that kind of money. So Uncle Sam. And, you know, I was sold a bill of goods. I was told, yeah, you become a medic. They got so many placements here at VA hospitals. We'll place you here for the troops who are coming home. Full lies. All of it lies. The moment I got to basic training, they were like, What's your MOS? At the time, it was 91 whiskey. Now it would be, well, last I left the military, it was 68. I don't know what it is now, but, 91 whiskey, huh? Combat medic. And I went, excuse me? They said, yeah, your ass is going straight to Iraq. They need medics out there. And I was like,
shit.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So then they send you to Iraq.
Then, yeah, I got through training. We broke up at the end of my training because she realized she didn't necessarily want to be an American, and I was going to be going to Iraq and shit. And she was like, I'm going to be away from my family, away from the people I grew up with, away from everyone I knew. I've met your friends, but like, they're not my friends yet, you know? And so she was like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, well, I can't get out of the Army. They don't like that.
This is like school. I can't just drop out of it.
Yeah, especially at the time, man. This was the height of the war on terror. So they were taking everybody. You could waiver anything to get in. I served with so many felons and dudes who were there to learn shit to bring home to cause trouble and just, man, nonsense. That the war on terror, man, there will be novels and not novels, but tomes, just tomes of what we did over there and how it did so many things to this country.
Wow. So then you served for how long?
I joined in 2004 and I got out in 2010. So 6 years on and off. I was National Guard for some of it, which, you know, doesn't save you from a deployment, but it meant I did have like a year or two in between the two deployments where I got to start to get my life back normal, and then it was like, oh nope, never mind.
Yeah.
So that's when wrestling kind of came in between.
Yeah,
those years.
wrestling was kind of in between
Okay.
the two.
You mentioned earlier that you came back during that idea with Brandon Bishop. That you came back and there's things that just weren't there anymore. That you came back a little messed up.
So in there's a lot that took me years, and there's a reason they don't give you a PTSD diagnosis right away, because they don't know yet how things are going to affect you, you know. So coming out, I didn't know. I knew that I was off balance, perhaps, but we didn't really know where my head was going to be at. Because some of it is you need time to get past some stuff enough for it to pop up again. You know, it's hard to get out of flight when you're still in it, you know.
Yeah.
So I came out, and I just, especially coming out the second time, there were issues with my DD-214, and there were issues with some of my discharge paperwork. So I was having trouble getting my VA shit together. And so I was living off credit cards, because you get out and you're supposed to get unemployment for a stretch to get you settled, and to get you in the VA system if you have, medical shit you need and stuff like that. And because my paperwork was screwed up, I had, I was juggling a lot of trying to put life back together. And just due to the way everything had gone, I still had yet to really mourn the life that I gave up trying to get engaged, because there was just so much. And then the first tour, all the medical stuff, starts to resurface when shit, pops up. And my biggest thing coming off my second tour was just how disillusioned I was, because like I said, I was a broadcast, quote unquote journalist. But I know how much footage had to go away, or how many stories I wasn't able to tell because of the light that they would paint us in, or, interviews where I sat down with people after missions or whatever, and they would be like, all right, that's all gotta go. And it was just like, I understand how the apparatus works and my place in it. And that can be a lot to sit with. And then to recognize how that apparatus can work in a number of ways.
Yeah.
And then what really, so I was off balance coming back from Iraq. What really fully sent me into PTSD was over the course of the pandemic. I was a truck driver, and through the thick of it, we were also in the thick of the protests. And so I'd be driving through areas and shit's boarded and there's barricades and there's, occasionally armed cats standing around, and it starts to feel too familiar, especially for home. It's not supposed to feel like that here. And I realized that, feeling that way also comes from a position of privilege, because there's people who grew up their whole lives in certain areas where it's just like that, even here, and so I recognized that I got to live a lot of my life without that, but then it was here and I wasn't ready for it, and then throw isolation on top of that. And I, during the course of the pandemic, was going through the dissolution of a long-term relationship that had been, 10 years or so. And so there was just a lot going on. Plus, I got COVID for the first time. And COVID will fuck your shit up, man. Like, I never had any of the lung issues or any of that. But I had a fever that cooked my brain. And so I was having waking hallucinations. I had my first sleep paralysis occurrence. And I spent a week with just my brain cooking.
Yeah.
And so between that and, everything that happened with the pandemic, feeling a certain way, it really kind of spun my brain a bit. And took a little while for me to pull it all back together again.
So now, what I mean, if you don't mind me asking, so like you
Sure.
said, when you start seeing all the protests and stuff here at home, you know, and it's bringing you back to the PTSD, what are you doing to try to keep yourself sane?
Well, some of it was I had to definitely regulate my diet of how much I can pay attention to anything at any given time. You know, and some of that, especially the thick of the protests, was rough because it was like, well, I got out of the military and some of the folks that I served with became cops. And some of the folks I served with became those protesters. And so I'm watching the people I served with beat the people I served with.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's and a lot of it over nonsense, like taking down a Confederate statue, man, come on. Really? We're going to fight over that? Come on. You know, and then the other shit, you know, the real systemic issues that people are still, you know, another thing we're going to be dealing with I don't think we've reckoned with is how much how we handled or didn't handle COVID and the pandemic, how we did and didn't handle the lockdown. We are going to be dealing with repercussions through all of that, disaster capitalism, you know, because as everything was locked down, man, people started buying up all the real estate that was closing down, and now it's all Airbnbs and shit, and the gig economy of real estate, which is, you know, it's one of the things that really fucked me up being in the military was how much I started paying attention. And when you start paying attention to how all the parts and pieces work and how they all fit together and how it all drives itself, it can make you insane because you know it doesn't need to be all of this, you know.
So now you, because I know you said you did stand-up comedy for a little bit.
I did.
Was this after the military?
This was after the military. This was the 2-year run-up to the pandemic. Okay. And then once the pandemic hit and everything closed, part of another thing that kind of had me step away from performing as much as I was, and had me largely step away from social media, which is, I'm sure y'all notice I don't really
you don't post much.
It's if I have something I've, you know, to put out, like here's a song, here's an album, here's a video, here's that. But a lot of my personal life, I didn't like that I was creating a product of myself, and it started to feel real dehumanizing because as I was in wrestling and comedy and the band all at once, all at the same time, and I was also starting to MC drag shows and burlesque shows, and you know, I was performing a lot and spending all of my time. Here's a clip from this show. Here's a clip from this show. Here's a clip from, and it's a 24/7 gig to be a personality. Yeah, to be a thing and
it's like you got to be on. You got to be on the whole time.
Yeah,
you know?
And it was affecting how I was relating to people, because I was, if you're on all the time, you're never off. Yeah. And if you're taking that home, you know, it was becoming a thing where I couldn't, because I had to be on for so many things, I was just on, and I didn't know
how to turn it off.
Didn't know how to turn it off. Didn't know who I was. Yeah. Because I was the performance. I wasn't spending time as a person. I wasn't sitting with myself. I wasn't sitting with others. I was only focused on, I need to be on the stage. I need to be on the stage at all costs, at all times. If not for the gig in the moment, then to prove that I am worth booking so that someone else will see it and want to book me. And it just became exhausting. Yeah. And I took a step back, and then, like I said, my brain broke a little bit, and all of that kind of allowed me to really focus on, like, all right, what is it that I do want? And it's what it's always been. I want to make music, you know? And so during the course of the pandemic, while the band was fairly inactive, I started making music by myself, just as something to do because it's just what I felt compelled to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, if I just do this because it's just what I do, then this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be a musician. And then as, things opened back up, the band was able to get back together and we started working again. And, we rebranded because we had previously been called Uncouth. And like I said, we got to play some of the kaiju shows. Mm-hmm. We played Doomed and Stoned Festival in Chicago. It was another one of those things. There was momentum and then it got cut. And then it was like, all right, well, this is a point where we can reset and reaffirm what is it that we want this to be? Because the momentum stopped.
Yeah.
We don't need to fight to keep it. We can let it go. And there's something very freeing in just being like, you know what was is done. It's done and I let it go and I can focus on what's next and I don't have to worry about dragging myself and my shit with me. It can be a brand new thing. And so we rebranded. We're now What We Owe the Dead. And a quick Google search. There's a book that just came out with that same name. I'm deeply upset about that because otherwise we were it, man. We were first page of Google, man. We were there. And then some author was like, "What We Owe the Dead." That's a good name for a book. Parallel thinking.
Before we get into your music,
sure.
Before we get into that, real quick with the comedy, he said you did start doing that after the military.
Yeah.
Did you always want to be a comedian? Did you always want to try it, or was that kind of like an outlet to get you out of what you had went through in the military? Kind of like, how can I want to bring laughter now to people.
I think it was almost kind of just a dare to myself. I put it out to the world one day that I was like, man, I've never tried stand-up. And one of my buddies was like, I know so many open mics. Let's go to one. And we just went. And I did one. And it was great. Mm-hmm. I loved it. I was like, oh, I can do this. Mm-hmm. I can stand in front of people and for 5 minutes hold their attention and be funny. Mm-hmm. Sweet. And, did that grind for a bit. And then it was, you get 10 minutes and then you get 20 minutes and, you build on it. And I started producing shows and hosting shows. And, like I said, it got me into the hosting drag and hosting burlesque. And I just became known as a show host because it was something I could do. Mm-hmm. I would occasionally make jokes about my time in the military because, a lot of the attitude of what a military person is so wrong. Mm-hmm. Because the big examples we get are either the people who are really fucked up by the military, or the people who are like rah-rah, and like never would have left, mm-hmm. and still carry that lifestyle with them. And for like 80 to 90% of the people they were just poor and they needed a job and they needed to go to college and this is how we get you.
Yeah.
And, so I for me, comedy, it was just another extension of I'm a performer. I perform. I wonder if I could do this. And then someone said, well, let's find out. And then I did. And then I just kept. And
do you remember the first joke you told on stage?
Not a clue. It was probably something about, I was a truck driver at the time, and it was probably something about catching people masturbating in rush hour traffic.
Pretty solid. Solid.
Well, because it's true. Because you see people do some shit when you're at an elevated position and they don't realize it.
Uh-huh.
And so, and probably it being the time, I probably couched it in a, it's like an ocean of Louis C.K.'s out there, just something like that. Because it was topical at the time, you know. But that, I leaned more toward goofy absurdity. Like I want Muppet energy in the world. I want more of that sincerity.
Yeah.
Do you miss stand-up?
Every now and then.
Sounds like you liked it, man.
I enjoyed it. I think about, I won't say I haven't done the occasional open mic just to see if I still can.
Last time you did it?
Probably last year.
I'm
Probably
saying
last year.
there might be a Laughing Matters 2 coming out.
Me and Javier are talking about putting on
man.
maybe, but putting on another show.
I mean, I can tell you, I am so far out of practice. Like I was telling you before we started recording, I know Oscar that you had on your show. Yeah, I knew him from doing shows, and I was like, man, I'm not at that caliber anymore. You couldn't pay me. You shouldn't pay me to do it.
we weren't planning. You were
Well, I mean, if it's like
For a hot
that.
dog and a handshake, bro. For a hot dog and a handshake, bro. That's what it would have been.
we were giving out farts and promises, right?
Farts and promises, bro. That's what it would have been for. Farts and promises.
Pedos.
No, man. But touching on your music, man. Today you got here and you gave us your CD, man. What We Owe the Dead: Rituals of the Collapse.
Yes. The CD is, if you like physical media, and honestly everybody should these days, because streaming is bad for artists, it's bad for most people. So buy physical media if you have an artist you love.
When did this band start for you?
So it's a funny story how What We Owe the Dead, formerly Uncouth, started. I had a friend I'd been in high school with. He was in a metal cover band called Get Ya Pull.
Oh my God.
Okay, you know them.
You know, okay. Guess you know them?
Fucking Pantera.
Yeah. Oh, black tooths all around, man.
Yep.
Crown Royal Crown. God, it's a terrible drink. I don't. I get that Dimebag loved it. I don't.
I understand, and now I know what we're having for the close already. So who is this person that you?
So Get Ya Pull. I knew one. Well, I knew all those guys from high school. The singer got in a car accident.
That's right. You were from Villa, so you knew a lot of my old coworkers.
Right around.
Okay,
Yeah. Went to York and all that. And yeah. So I knew the singer. He got in a car accident. They had a gig, and they needed just guest singers. And so I wound up coming in to do a couple songs. And one of the guys that I did, I think we did Pantera's This Love. And I did the singy part, and he did the screamy part. And he wound up being this cat named Carl, who, in a roundabout way, he used to yard with Yabo and Ruffo and Chris Cairo and fucking.
Wow.
Yeah, they all used to yard together.
Small fucking world.
Yeah, out in Streamwood. So yeah, my guitarist knows that whole crew.
Okay.
And so yeah, we did this gig. This was ages ago. He hits me up maybe 5 years later. We became Facebook friends or whatever. He hits me up and he was like, "Hey, do you have any interest in being in a doom sludge metal band?" And at the time I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that means.
I was just about to ask, what does doom sludge mean?
Well, and
I mean, I know a metal band, but what is doom sludge metal
so
band?
doom would put you in that like Typo Negative could fit in there. Down, which is the Pantera side project with guys from Crowbar and Corrosion of Conformity. Crowbar, also anyone who sounds a little bit like Black Sabbath can kind of slot in there.
Because I was about to ask, what type of music do you guys play? But doom sludge metal sound, that's what you guys go for.
So that was the pitch of bringing me in. Now, I kind of hate genre as a concept. A lot of it, the origins of genre in music are based in racism. We were breaking up white music and black music. That was the origins. And then from there, it gets further fractured, and metal especially is absurd. There are so many subgenres, and it's so hard to keep track of. And I'd love to be able to just be like, we're a metal band, and have that, be enough. Yeah. But people want, well, who do you sound like? Because metal is everything now. And it's like, well, yeah, we don't sound like Sleep Token. We don't sound like Inter Arma. We don't sound like a lot of, I don't know what we sound like. We've been labeled recently in reviews and whatnot as progressive metal. which would put us in the same kind of category as bands like Mastodon, Baroness. Some like Tool is the far progressive end of progressive, because basically what they mean when they say progressive, and I'm gonna make purists mad, I'm sure, is just weird. Like you're doing stuff. You're not doing verse chorus chorus bridge. You know, you're doing weird time signatures, weird song structures, shit like that.
And what do you play in the band?
I'm vocalist.
You're vocalist.
I'm vocalist.
Shit.
Was there ever any doubt, Danny? Come on.
And that voice, nah, bro.
If you have him behind a drum set, you're hiding that voice.
So, in this album,
Yes.
which one would be your favorite song here?
Man, that's tough.
You got the inevitability.
That's going to depend on if we're asking what's my favorite to perform or what's my favorite to listen to. Because those are going to be very different answers.
What's your favorite to perform?
Perform, I'd say probably Unmarked Grave, which has been the lead single off the record. That's a real fun one. I get to do a lot vocally. I have a lot of dynamics in that song.
Can you give us a little sample of the song? Here we go.
Burn me, bury me, no desire to be saved, no casket, just ashes, spread cross an unmarked grave.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
the opening.
Thank you, sir.
Opening lines of Unmarked Grave there.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing is when if we can, well, maybe when we take the picture at the end we can see it, but anybody that's picturing you in a metal band and then they see what you wear, everybody's like, wait a minute.
That's part of the fun. That's part of what I
Very
love
hippie vibes.
I love to subvert some of the expectations. It's and granted, I have no shortage of black T-shirts in my collection. Like, let's be honest, I got a closet full of the fucking things. But like, I like to bring a splash of color to it. I think it differentiates us from a lot of
those pants definitely
bands.
differentiate you.
Oh, these pants! I love these, man.
They look comfy. They look comfy though.
I saw you walking by and I'm like,
I found these at a Goodwill, and I was like, I need those in my life.
when
They
I saw
are-
you walking
That's in my life.
I thought I was like, man, it's like Ricky's got some explaining to do. I don't remember him looking like this the last time I saw him.
Yeah, it's been a work in progress. I think one of the things that I really and I have to give credit where it's due, giving me the platform to be the Skitz M. Jones character and have the Glitter Bomb character, and then, like I said, the platform of stand-up and the platform of music, they all gave me a platform to figure out who I was once I was done with the military. And I spent a lot of time trying to be the most masculine dude. You know, I'm covered in tattoos, I'm bald, I'm bearded. You know, I was wearing a lot of like battle vests with the patches and the spikes, and you know, for a time I was really trying to just butch it up.
I remember, man. I remember the Breakfast Club mornings, man. He had the vest, had the long full beard.
Yeah.
And, it looked like you're about to fucking kill someone in that restaurant.
And it was one of those things. I also.
Oh, and by the way, he's jealous that he was never invited to the Breakfast Club.
That was not my call. I anyone who knows anything about me knows I'm not the logistics person. I don't dictate any of that.
You have no idea how much.
Don't worry about
you
it.
have no idea
I
how much.
blame Danny. Don't worry about it.
You have no idea how much of a hater he is about that. He was never invited.
I'm always like, Breakfast Club. Like,
Well, I mean, you could be in. We can shuffle the table.
nah, it's okay. It's too late.
It's too late,
I'd rather hate forever.
How do you feel about lunch?
right?
You like a nice lunch?
Lunch club. There you go.
Honestly, that was my
Lunch club.
biggest issue with us getting together for breakfast. Always was like, at what time in the morning? Because you got kids, and now Dio got kids.
So we're
and,
up early.
You know, adult.
He looked like he hasn't been in bed yet.
Yeah,
he walked in just
I
like.
went to bed at 5. You want me at breakfast at 8? Like, what are we talking about? That's not.
He quickly is like, this isn't for me, guys. This isn't for me. I left the military because I didn't like
I don't. Oh, even in the military, someone needs to work overnights. That was me. I was an overnight kind of person, man. That was my deal.
Well, I mean, obviously being, in the comedy world, the band world, obviously they're all late night gigs,
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I mean, so with your band, are you how often do you guys play around the area a lot, or?
So we have shows coming up. Our big focus was we need to get this record done. We need to get the record done. We need to get it out. We need to get it in front of people. We banged out one music video like proper, and one of those they call them visualizers, where it's just some graphics and some stuff on screen to look at while you listen to the song. So we had a couple singles, did a couple videos. We wanted to get all that together. So by the time we hit a stage, we've got a CD we can sell you. Have some shirts. We have a stage presentation that is.
Are the shirts black?
They will be. They will be.
Now, are you writing the music?
So I handle all the lyrics, and whatever comes out of me is I've been the sole kind of cat in charge of that. For this record, Carl, the guitarist I mentioned, who used to yard with everybody, he crafted most of the record in terms of its structure and its the riffs in each song, and it was when we were putting it together. The concept is if you have a record, you can play A side, flip it, play B side, flip it, and it cycles.
Yeah.
And it's a solid 20. I want to say it's 47 minutes total. So each side is nearly to the second, 23 and some change.
Okay.
Within, like, he put thought into how it works so that's also in that progressive, thinking about.
Yeah.
You hear about how Tool spends years thinking about math to write.
I was literally about to say this. I'm like, there's also the term math metal that gets thrown around.
We're not quite there, because we're not. A lot of that kind of band is very technical, and while we are we are technically skilled, but we are a vibe band. We want that flow and that feel. So it's not like we don't record to a drum machine. We don't have that kind of precision that some of the like real technical math rock bands will get into. And the bands that have the click tracks that they got to play to, because they have because they have all the additional elements and bells and whistles and whatnot. And we're just, a guitar, big pedal board, in fairness, in front of that guitar, bass, drums, and then me, the microphone. I am incorporating some vocal effects pedals to give, harmonies, or to do, echoes and things like that. Trying to really make it something worth seeing and worth hearing live, and something big.
How many people are in the band?
Just four.
There's 4 of you guys?
Just the four of us. We've kind of got a fifth official member in Sam Crumpos, who produced the vocals for the record and mixed and all of that. He's a longtime friend of the band, and so we have unofficial, fifth members who help in certain degrees. But as far as the music, the writing and putting it on the record, that was just the four of us: me, Carl, James, and Tim.
Now, what's your guys' next goal for the band?
Well, the next thing we have, unfortunately, I cannot give details because the venue hasn't given us the go-ahead. Okay. We have a show. I feel like I can say we have a show in September. I can't give details, but
it'll be in the area, right?
It'll be in Chicago.
Okay.
We're gonna be playing in the Chicagoland area. Okay. We've got a couple shows lined up. It's one of those things that gets tricky. bass player has got kids, guitarist, they just had a kid, we're all in our 40s, we've got day jobs and life.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
hard.
it
It's hard,
can
man.
be hard to get it all together. But we do have shows coming up. Anything can be found under What We Owe the Dead. If it's on social media, it'll either be at What We Owe the Dead, all one word, or just search that name. Any of the dates.
How can people find your music?
Yeah, any streaming, any YouTube. If you want a physical copy, we're selling them off Bandcamp, which would just be whatweowethedead.bandcamp.com, I want to say. And we're working on vinyl. It's an expense with a time turnaround, so that's work in progress. But if you want physical copies, the Bandcamp, or we'll have them at shows when we can announce them.
Aside from the band, what can we see next from you?
Oh man, the band has really kind of been the focus right now, because I did drop a solo record. Oh man, maybe back in March it might have been. I kind of all throughout I was dropping solo stuff. I think I put out like 50 some odd releases between albums, EPs, and singles, just because I had time on my hands.
How different is your solo stuff compared to the band?
Very. None of it's live. It's all me having to like play it on a keyboard and use synthesizers and stuff to replicate sounds.
Yeah.
But I record all my solo stuff just me in my apartment, so I'm also not singing at full volume.
Yeah.
It's just a very different kind of vibe, and it's a lot more chill, a lot more. I do some dark wave stuff, kind of go dance in the goth club kind of stuff.
So where do you pull your influences from as far as like when you're writing your music?
Everywhere, anything and everything. I've written about wrestling matches or feuds that I've really
Nice.
enjoyed. Back when we were uncouth, we had a song called Pendulum of Man, and it was the opening theme to Kaiju Attack Wrestling, and the song that I would come out to. And it was all about the feud between Mil Muertes and Santos.
Santos Escobar?
Yeah, what was he in Lucha?
King Cuerno.
Cuerno, yes. So it was, I wrote a whole song about the feud between Mil Muertes and
Nice.
King Cuerno.
That's awesome.
And we had named that EP that we had done Tree of Woe, and we were like, what is it about? The Conan the Barbarian thing? And I was like, no, man, that's a wrestling movie. And I guess Conan, I get down with Arnold. I can rock with Conan. So wrestling's kind of always been, it's all, because
It still has a place somewhere.
it's big stories, and I still watch. What actually made me fall back in love with watching wrestling, because I after I stopped and got out of the business, I stopped watching for a while, because I was just like, it's not where my head's at, and it's just not where I was. And then started watching when NXT rebranded as NXT 2.0. I was like, well, this is clearly a brand new thing that I can just jump in.
Yeah.
I won't need to know too much.
Right.
And I love bright colors. I love big characters. I love the goofy stuff. I love a 5-star match. I love, one of the greatest matches I ever saw live was, Gresham and Ali. Just do an incredible match. And I got to see that live. But also, man, I get a kick out of just, everything the clowns are doing right now.
Yeah,
is incredible.
They're doing great, man. They really are.
And so I love the goofy stuff. One of my favorite characters of all time, and it's great to see him still in the business, is Santino Marella. Because what a fun, goofy character. So yeah, I started watching NXT 2.0, and then I had D-Ho come around, and because even outside of wrestling, that dude is my tag partner. Mm-hmm. That is my dude. When I was homeless, him and Katie took me in. Like that's my ride or die dude. Mm-hmm.
Dio's a great dude.
Yeah. And you know, if I got nothing else out of wrestling, I got one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. Maybe made a few enemies along the way as well, but like,
I mean, you're banned apparently, so
yeah, you know, and like, God, I hate that we start on such a rough note, but yeah, anyone who's listened all the way through, thank you so much, because yeah, I probably sounded like a real bummer at the start there.
Is it safe
everyone
to say,
hates me and such?
Is it safe to say that you feel more balanced now?
Oh, I definitely, as just a person, have come more into myself in the recent years than I think I had been for a long time, because I spent so much of my life running toward trying to accomplish certain things and trying to be a certain type of person, and just realizing if you can just kind of get out of your own way a little bit and just let you know, I won't say psychedelics can't help. Sometimes, hey, sometimes to get out of your own way, you really need to get out of your own way. But you know that there's definitely more balance in my life now. I've found, because especially looking at the world at large, it's like, well, what do I want out of all of this? Like, if it all came down tomorrow, what do I want? And it was like, the happiest I could imagine myself being is me in front of a campfire with some friends, singing some songs, making each other laugh.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Mm-hmm. And if I can have semblances of that in my life, then all the rest is just extra. That's the extra stuff, and some of it requires more attention than others. But like, what I want is that. Mm-hmm. And everything else is just trying to have that. Mm-hmm. You know, have your people around you, have everyone be comfortable and joyous and hanging out. And it's what people do. People hang out and entertain each other. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. That's great. That's a great thing.
So yeah, finding that was going to make me far happier than, like, don't get me wrong, if the opportunity arose to play the Rosemont Horizon, you know, to play that kind of a stage, I'm not saying no. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not turning that down. But
I love that you still call it the Rosemont Horizon.
Oh fuck yeah, Allstate. The Allstate Arena.
Still the Horizon.
It's all right, man. WWE calls it Chicago, so mm-hmm. But yeah, like I'm happy if the band gets together and practices and has a fun practice. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm happy if we get to play in front of people. I'm happy getting to hang here and shoot the shit with you guys like this. You know,
it's the little shit that people take for granted that they don't realize, man, can make it so much better, so much happier. You know,
absolutely.
If you focused on that.
Yeah,
you know,
and you know, there's a lot of big shit out there that requires attention. There's a lot of the shit that, you know, a lot of us don't have the power to directly affect necessarily. Yep. And, you know, so taking the time to focus on the more immediate and the more in front of you, you know, that's the best kind of effect that anyone can have, even on the world around them. Like, who are the people around you? Make their lives better. Yeah. You know, and grow from there. Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely, man. And like you said, you know, it's the little things like that, man. Yeah, you said even sitting here talking with you today, we were excited just because we hadn't seen you in a long time. Yeah. So the fact that we're able to sit here with you, man, and catch up with you and to shoot the shit with you.
Absolutely.
Did you guys ever interact on the ring?
I can't remember. I'm not sure.
Man.
I got to sit back and think about that one. I'm not sure.
Well, other than Javier, who else have you teamed with? Have you had any other...
Ben Canoa.
Okay, no, because Ben would have been with Chi-Chi at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think we ever had a
so.
match.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, you came in and were good, so.
I mean, for everyone listening out there, he won a title in his first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some haters out there, Logan.
He straight up, he Paul White that shit. He won the world championship. I remember there was, I didn't have many interactions with you, but there was one interaction that I vividly remember to this day, and I hate myself for it because I totally screwed something up. And I don't know if you remember, you were doing like a hooded character. You were.
Oh yeah. The Shadow.
Do you remember what I'm talking about? I think I was with Diho and Khan, and we came into like
the Regulators. Yeah, and I was probably managing Will and Priest.
Yeah, and you were doing something, and at the time you were still haven't revealed who you are.
Yeah.
And I had just come back, and I had been away for a while, and I run into the ring. I am all fucking energy. Like, I'm at this point in time, I get the business, but I'm also haven't been around in a while, and look, this is me coming right back. This is way before me and you got together. So I'm super fucking excited.
Yeah.
And I run out there, first fucking night back. He's running around doing the freaking shadow thing, and he's outside, and I reach over to punch him, and for whatever reason, and, I know I'm going to miss. I'm not going to hit the guy. He's doing his thing. He hasn't revealed. My hand catches the back of his hood.
Fuck, that's right.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And I totally yanked his fucking hood off and revealed who he was before the fucking...
Because the problem was, it was a janky hood. So it wasn't even a hood. Because it was supposed to look like rags. I was doing a very, like, it was rags hanging
character
off.
Almost.
And so it was, I had taken a T-shirt sleeve. And I'd cut it off the T-shirt, and the elastic band of the sleeve was around my head with the fabric hanging, and so it was a janky hood.
I think I remember. Yeah.
Dude, as soon as I saw his face, I
went, way to fuck it up, kid.
Way to fuck up that story,
man.
And I just heard people in the crowd saying, "Hey, that was Skitz." I was like. I can't wait to see Jimmy's face when I go back to the camera.
And that was the last time Javier was booked for a long time.
I remember just walking back. Hey, he wasn't. Yeah, I know. You weren't supposed to touch him. Yeah, I know.
You fucked up.
I felt so bad. I went home. I was like, I've been gone for such a long time, and for that to be the very first thing I do when I come back.
Should have just stayed away after that, dog. Should have just stayed away after that. But no, bro, it's Skitz, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us today, man. We hope you had a good time, bro. It was fun, man. It was, like I said, it's great to see you again, catch up with you, man.
Yeah.
Leave us on a good note. Tell us your favorite wrestling memory.
Man, my favorite wrestling memory.
Javier pulling off your fucking hood.
That's one of my favorite.
Oh man, honestly, I don't know that it would be a specific moment. I think I used to love those road trips to Dubuque. Just y'all. It's just
that time in the car with the people.
The camaraderie, the hanging out, the laughing. Depending on who you're riding with, getting a major contact high. Like, I'm not naming names. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
He was a bum, or he was a cowboy at the time, I'm sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Those people were just clowning around back then.
I will say, if I'm going to talk about the stuff that I actually did in ring, I got to put over the 4-star heroes, Matt Nix and Chris Castro. Me and Brian Fellows as #GlitterBomb. We were having a little feud with them. They were the hot tag team at the time, and we were goofy, nobodies, and this was going to be their big heel turn. And it was Christmas. So we came out with trays of Christmas cookies, and we fed the crowd and gave them cookies. And Diho and Chris Castro had a cookie eating match in the middle of the match. Feed one a cookie, feed the other the cookie, feed back and forth, bump off the cookie, bump the ref off the cookie. did a bunch of just goofy stuff, and it was the match that kind of solidified us as people were on board with what we were doing. Because when we were doing this big, fun, goofy match, and then the finish happens, and we're all in the crowd, and we're all four of us, all four babyface Rays, and then they turn around and jump us, and I got curb stomped into a plate of cookies, and the crowd was just ate it up, and it's like there were maybe 3 bumps in the match. Like it was just, we were telling a story with character and fun, and people were on board.
That's
and
still
it
3
was
too many bumps for Danny's perfect match.
Fuck yeah.
If we're talking a perfect match, I had that against Nathan Gust. Mm-hmm. We didn't bump.
See, that's the best.
Not a bump in the match.
That's the best match.
That was the one, man.
Fuck yeah, that's the best. When you don't bump, 5-star right there, bro.
Danny hearing you took 3 bumps, like, man, was that a hardcore match? What kind of street fighters were you having?
Well, because I got lucky, man. I came in and I'm hearing from
you're doing too much, brother.
Oh God, why can't I think of his name? Austin.
Who?
Man, can't think of his name now. Used to team with Hunter Payne, I think.
Oh, Austin Roberts.
Austin Roberts. Talk about his bump card.
Yeah.
Heard that backstage and was like, oh, boy, I better think about that, huh?
Yeah. I saw him a few months ago.
Yeah. Doing well?
Yeah, it looks good, man. Yeah.
Oh, man, some of these cats are staying in shape. It's never going to be me.
No, bro, but thanks, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us, brother.
It was a pleasure.
Before we head about, man, tell people where they can find you, social medias, even though you don't post much, but go ahead.
I'm at everything at Riki, RIKIMJ, Adams, ADAMS. You can find me at Blue Sky is where I'm probably the most active.
Is it like OnlyFans?
No, I'm not giving you all that.
No, I'm saying, is that like OnlyFans?
No,
Blue Sky? I never heard of that.
Blue Sky is like Twitter replacement.
Oh, okay.
It's
man, if you did have an OnlyFans,
it's all.
I say put it out there, man. Get a little bit more money.
That's it.
I tell you what, if there's an audience out there that wants to hear me read smut to you,
read that.
I will read
with his radio voice.
Riki reads smut on OnlyFans. Look for that coming soon. No, Riki MJ Adams, and then
There's a little friggin' taste of that.
How you doing?
I see. Imagine sitting on a speaker with that. With that,
Jerry just raised the volume.
Oh goodness. Riki MJ Adams at everything, and then What We Owe the Dead, all one word, at everything. That'd be about it.
Awesome, man. Thank you again, bro. We appreciate
my
it,
pleasure.
man. Absolutely.
My pleasure.
Big.
Everyone keep listening and pay attention to September when Ricky's going to let you guys in on where that mysterious venue is that they're going to be playing
Yes,
at.
dates and venues forthcoming. And don't forget, if you're listening to the podcast, to like and subscribe and all that.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm fucking talking about, man. Right there, man.
Level.
I didn't even got to say. He said it for me, man. There you go. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Share that shit. Don't hate.
You guys are going to have breakfast tomorrow without me, aren't you?
We are, motherfucker. Don't worry. He don't like getting up early either, bro. And he's got a kid. He still don't get up early.
You didn't know we're leaving right from here? It was just
You didn't know that, right?
There's a late breakfast place.
But no, big thanks to Riki Adams for coming and hanging out with us today. Big special thanks to our sponsors, the Law Office of Christopher Hot Taco Villa. Big shout out to 945 Wrestling Tees, all the way from Canada. And remember, if you want to get a rock with us, ProWrestlingTees.com. Type in Salud Cabrones Podcast. Buy some merch. Wear it. Don't hate. Don't play it. Hate. To participate, motherfuckers. So, Riki, this is the part of the episode where we sign off with a toast, raising up our beverages, saying Salud Cabrones. So, when you're ready, 1, 2, 3.
Salud,
Salud Cabrones. We out.
Get your